Hey again. So we're doing a build video, and this is my second time filming this because for some reason Gemini popped up. Anyways, I'm going to do a build on this one. I cannot remember the name of it. Oh my god, I love that. I love that blade pattern. But I'm not doing it with the original scales. Oh god. Getting these out of the bag was a pain in the ass the first time I filmed this. It was like a good minute of this. Anyways, because as you can see, these ones are square. And I'm lazy, and I want to build a knife because my wife and I are going camping, and I would love to take this, we custom one of these with me going out. So I am going to stop playing with the sharp thing because I haven't put tape over the blade yet. I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. I've got a few different options, like I could probably get 2 pieces out of this micarta, but that stuff is a pain in the ass to work with. So I tend to put it on combat knives because it is, you can get a really good grip done up on it, and yeah, I can break bricks with the handles. This stuff, which obviously I got on sale at Princess Auto, which is Canada's Harbor Freight, but come on, I think the patterns would clash way too much. It's very tactical though. I've got some Purple Heart slabs. I've got some Manitoba maple slabs. And I've got some ebony, but these are very, very thick. And sizing those down is a bitch. So I like using them in smaller pieces because then I don't want to kill myself. But I've also got some beech. And given the beautiful almost waterfall pattern on here, I think a semi-contrasting beech pattern should look very nice, and I might, we'll see, linseed or walrus oil, maybe something a little bit darker on the handles, and then we'll take a gander. I'm going to try and keep this one really short because the last one was like an hour and 12 minutes, and unless I'm like Z-Not Alpha, who can keep you entertained for that long, shorter videos better. I'm going to use the original mounting pieces, and I might even actually peen them over at the tail end. I haven't decided. We'll see how I feel. So I've got the 3/16 drill bit all set up in the drill press, and yeah, we'll see. And then this little piece goes there. So I'll measure that up, and if I remember, I'll put that all in the description, because hopefully the description actually listens to me, and the cat's running around in the background. Anyways, enough of me sitting here looking like a goof in my tank top. Let's go look like a goof while drilling. I'm going to apologize in advance because it's going to be really goddamn loud. You are right next to the drill. Yeah, that's my PPE going on. Sorry, guys. And that's why a little more downward pressure or clamping this piece in place is a good idea. And now for that one there, 1/4 inch, 3/16, 1/4 inch. Would have worked better if I'd plugged in the drill before turning on the camera. Sorry, loud. Ta-da! So, little trick that I didn't mention in the last one is you can put a clamp on here if there's no bolster. Of course, I didn't mention in the last one because there was a bolster. And it will line the ends up pretty goddamn close. And then literally I used 2 straight edges to just make sure this was relatively straight. It doesn't matter when you go down to actually sand this shit down, but ta-da, and this is now all super glued in place. So I'm going to drill it, and you don't have to watch because it's probably going to be boring. And I have to do the 1/4 inch hole first, and then swap out the drill bit to the 3/16 inch. And, well, I don't remember where I put the drill bit now. Oh, there it is. Yeah, anyways, I'm going to do that. So I marked out on these, I don't know if it'll come through on the camera, where the knife's resting. There's a couple of different ways to do this. You mark it out like this, and then use your pins to like hold it in place. Then do a rough sand. You can glue it to your handle. I hope you guys can hear me. Sorry, I'm using a wireless system this time. You can glue it to your handle, or you can do, I've marked these left and right, so I'm taking the left one and putting it on the right side to kind of hold it in place on the opposite side so I can rough it up. So I'm using the very bottom hole. The only thing about this is you got to remember to kind of, if you're going to try and face these off, get them pretty close in place. You can secure this with CA glue if you wanted to, or you can put a clamp on here. So long as your space in between isn't too bad. So, and if the voiceover doesn't work for this, then I will just ADR it afterwards. So, sorry, it's going to get loud. like this until it is all touching the blade. Then I'm going to take these scales off. I'm going to re-etch the blade once I have these sort of final setup, just because otherwise you take the Damascus pattern off the spine and the handle, and then I will come back and I will show you guys the glue up. So I'm going to finish this off. Well, hello, tiny little bird. Sorry, distracted. Tiny bird. Bye, tiny bird. Beach. One little thing to be aware of when working with beach. Squirrel moment there. Bird moment, we'll call it. When you're sanding it, it will easily get a little bit of discoloration there. It'll burnish really, really easily. So you can either sand it off, which is what I've done on 3 sides of this, I guess is the way I'm going to put it. But I went with it and actually ran a char on the spine. Totally experimental. Not sure if it's going to work out or what, but then what I did after that is gave it a quick soak in some water to raise the grain, and now I'm just sanding the non-charred parts to kind of make them comfy and smooth. And I want to sand the non-charred parts before sanding the charred parts if I'm using the same piece of sandpaper. In this case, it's artificial sandpaper basically. It's like emery cloth. Get it fairly smooth. And then same thing on the charred bits. I'm just going to use the edge. I've already sanded this a little bit, and what this will do is kind of give it a nice little finish. Some spots are a little bit still damp, so you can kind of see it looks a little discolored. Let's see if I can get this lower on camera. I have no idea if you saw that. The mouth is a bird feeder, so these are still a little bit damp, but I'm still able to get it off. And in case you're wondering how this is stuck together, I got annoyed and put 2 drops of CA glue on it. When you're charring it, it actually, like that, the heat can actually cause the CA to kind of give up a little bit. So, in theory, using my little Ronco Phantom, I don't know if you heard that crack. I don't even know if you guys can hear me because I'm using this thing. But it should be enough to, there we go, separate it out. So I'm going to let the inside dry, do a dry fit, show you guys that, and then do a glue up if I like it. So, and see this little bit, I made these essentially a simple slab side. There's some minor shaping in here and down here and some on the bottom. I like this knife design, and I didn't want to make it like insanely tactical or anything like that, so that's where my design thought process kind of is. And you can see that some of the grinding has taken off some of the Damascus etching, so I'm also going to etch this up. So in fact, I am going to go set that up while these dry. This usually takes 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I've been told. I have a wasp. Go away, wasps. They always show up when you're woodworking. They like sawdust. So yeah, I'm going to re-etch this, see how that turns out, and we'll go from there. Welcome to my belly. Yeah. Anyways, the coffee etching worked perfectly. So yeah, I don't need Gorilla Piss. I can just do it with incredibly strong coffee. Also, don't drink the coffee. I'm fairly certain at this point I can hear your heartbeat. So let's do a dry fit. In the back. Anyways, yeah. Sometimes when you are using water, it's on the wrong side, to raise the grain a little bit, it will cause the holes you've already drilled to swell a little bit. So just be aware of that. So I just re-reamed it with the drill bit. Yeah, I know I took the tape off. I'm trying to be careful and not smoke myself and cut myself. So it's mostly just a test for dry fit. So apparently I'm gonna have to re-ream this bottom hole. Let's see. Don't know why I left the longest one to be the last one put in, but right. That is a lot of contrast to it. How does that feel? That's actually very not bad. Alright. I think so. The steel sits just a tiny bit proud of the surface. Not really any hot spots. I'll round over the steel just a tiny bit in all of these spots. Looks like we've got good. Essentially, it's mirror on both sides, so that's nice. Love that that Damascus is coming through. So yeah, I'll do a glue up on it and then come back. Cool. Oh look, a shirt change. Okay, so pretty much done. I just went with a very simple slab side with some minor indentations here, some minor chamfering up here. And like I said, went with the burnt on the handles. Because yeah, beach scorches up pretty easy. And now, I'm just gonna put a little bit of boiled linseed oil on it. A little bit. We're gonna put boiled linseed on it. And try not to make a mess on my deck. Actually looking really good. I've done beach before, and it takes boiled linseed just fine. But sometimes the scorching won't take it as well, but no, that's looking really nice. I know some people just pour it right on, rub it on with their hands. Feels kind of weird to me. Alright. All that excess off. Let's see how it looks with... Oh, there you go. Hopefully you can see that Damascus pattern come right through. And yeah, I had this whole thing sit just slightly proud of the surface, and I rounded the edges, and now it gives a really nice purchase. Slab sides can be a little slippy in the hands. They're easier to make. You can do a slab side in a couple hours where, you know, proper contoured handle and custom fit and all that. Take it 4 or 5. But I kind of like how that looks. Let me grab its sheath. Be right back. Ta-da! I like that. With the cheeks thicker than the slabs that came with it. It fits in it really snugly, but still can get it out. And yeah, I'm proud to call that one of my built knives. Tips and tricks that I learned from this one. I reamed a little too much on this one hole, so that when I was inserting the brass tube in the very back, I actually cracked it. You can use CA glue or wood glue, however you prefer. The epoxy is holding it perfectly fine. Yeah, the etching the coffee took about 50 minutes. I think depending on how strong you make the coffee, it could take more or less time. And don't be hard on yourself. If you're doing these for the first time, you're going to mess up. Everybody does. There's no way to make a perfect knife the very first time. But these sets help so much because you don't have to worry about plunged lines, getting the grind angle right, hollow grinding versus saber grinding, getting that edge perfect. I do touch up all the edges because this is me and I'm insane and my knives are never sharp enough. But these sets really do let you kind of do what you want with them. You can use the slabs that come with, which are a little bit thinner than these, or you can use wood slabs. You can make your own, whatever you want. Help paracord wrap it if you want. It's your knife. If you're ever making these and you're like, oh, I would never buy one of my own knives, that's because you know the process from beginning to end. You know all the little mistakes you might have made. You know where you might improve. If you want to, just see if someone is interested. Put it out there. And don't be discouraged if they say, no, that's not for me. Because I have, how many have I made now? 7 or 8 knives. That's it. And I have people who I've gifted them to who are insanely happy with them. The big, long fillet knife. Shane is ridiculously happy with that one. So don't be hard on yourself. Anyways, that's about it. I am roasting because it's really, really hot on the deck, and I'm wearing long pants and everything because grinding sparks off the brass and everything. Well, not sparks, but just sharp metal bits, and they suck. So yeah, I'm gonna clean up and edit and post this video, and until next time, guys, stay sharp and don't be so hard on yourself. Ciao.